and once again an exotic welcome is being prepared in a distant corner of the world. Another journey, another honor for Sir Robert Eric Mortimer Wheeler, Companion of Honor, Companion of the Order of the Indian Empire, Military Cross, Master of Arts, Doctor of Literature, Fellow of the Royal Society, Fellow of the British Academy, Fellow of the Society of Antiquities, Knight of Pakistan. The welcoming dignitaries are also former students from the 1940s, now professional archaeologists working in Pakistan.
Very nice. Very well.
Wheeler had been invited to Pakistan by the government to be its honored guest at a special international symposium to mark the 50th anniversary of the first discovery of Mohenjo-Daro and to hear President Bhutto make a public appeal to the world.
Your Imperial Highness, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to welcome you to this international symposium on Mohenjo-Daro, which has been organized in collaboration with UNESCO to mark the 50th anniversary of the archaeological excavations of the site. This place where you are assembled today enshrines a unique piece of history. Mohenjo-Daro is a very important landmark in the panorama of the evolution of human civilization.
Here we have a problem and we are going to solve it. We're damn well going to solve it. When you dig down below the surface of the ground and find a buried building there, what is left is in perfect condition. But unless you immediately undertake first aid, the patient will die before you can apply long-term methods. And that's exactly what's been happening in Mohenjo-Daro over the last 50 years. We must really systematize this first aid approach as the initial step, a step which will give us perhaps 10 years or something of that sort at least, in which to bring the major methods to bear. We are going to carry that experiment to success, and we're going to approach it with a good heart. I have nothing else to say.
In 2015, the Sindh festival was organized by Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari at Mohenjo-Daro.
I am a proud son of the Indus Valley civilization. I am a proud Muslim born at the gateway of Islam. I am a proud Pakistani. My province was first in line to become part of this great federation.
Dry core drilling was conducted in the adjoining areas of archaeological ruins, and it was confirmed that a large portion of the city still lays uncovered. This archaeological wonder is a world heritage above the discrimination of language, race, and religion. The core objective of the conference on Mohenjo-Daro is to convey a message to the world community. Mohenjo-Daro is the civilized history of the human race, and this site has lot of mysteries buried in its chest that need to be explored further. The site is in danger and needs urgent attention to preserve. As patriotic Pakistanis and you all as a member of the global village, Mohenjo-Daro is our history, culture and heritage. Let's come and join hands to find a sustainable solution to save this unique world heritage and important evidence of human evolution collectively.
Honorable Minister of Culture to please take their seats on the stage. Alongside them, the Senior Minister, Sindh, Mr. Nisar Khodo Sahab, and Dr. Kalimullah Lashari, our keynote speaker of today. Webke Jensen, Director UNESCO Pakistan. Professor Dr. Jonathan Mark Canoyer from University of Wisconsin-Madison. Professor Dr. Richard Meadow, from Harvard, and Professor Dr. Michael Jensen from Germany to kindly take their seats on the stage. I would now request the Honorable Minister for Culture, Tourism, and Antiquities of Sindh Province, Honorable Sayyid Sardar Ali Shah, to give the formal address of welcome. Honorable Sayyid Sardar Ali Shah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Chief Minister and the President of the occasion, Sayyid Murad Ali Shah, Honorable Nisar Khodo Sahab, Viveka Jansen, Country Head UNESCO, and all other distinguished guests on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my proud privilege to welcome you all delegates and attendees to the conference as a son of this soil. And also to you, Mr. President, despite your extremely very busy schedule, chose to be with us this fine day in Mohenjo-daro. A city which once was the capital of Indus civilization is hosting you again today to all of you here at Mohenjo-daro. I also warmly welcome you as the son of this soil that still gets lifeline with the mighty Indus River just flowing, nearing to you at your back. I know very well that many of our delegates had to face many difficulties in adjusting to their schedules to be at this conference. I have been watching with attention and concerns as many of the delegates had to face difficulties in the process of obtaining travel visas. It is a fact that these days, due to many threats to the humanity on account of novel ways of terrorizing the humanity, the procedures had been more formalized. It certainly makes things difficult, especially when the time for the application and the required process don't match. I myself had talked to many of the visa officers abroad for the ease of the guests. I sought the indulgence of Dr. Kalimullah Lashari to personally communicate with our mission abroad. It was his weight behind it that certain difficulties could overcome. We would have opted for a later date for the conference. But let me confess here that I personally and our country fellow generally feel under tremendous pressure due to the threats to the preservation of archaeological remains. I and my colleagues in the Department of Culture, Tourism and Antiquities are personally indebted to all those who contributed their bit in the organization of this conference. I am certain that the proceedings of the conference shall not only bring the current research on the Indus civilization together, but shall also discuss the means of promoting the academic interaction and also help initiate discussion of conservation of the threatened site of Mohenjo-daro. Mr. President, it is not out of context to say that the government is keenly pursuing the cause of heritage in the province. After the devolution of the archaeological sites to the province, the government has increased the attention and budget. The word heritage site of Mohenjo-daro and Makli have received a few development projects for which the works have been initiated. The archaeological campus of Mohenjo-daro, quite old, it needed intensive upkeep. Besides, the visitors' facilities are inadequate. It is further emphasized that the dry core drilling was recommended by the UNESCO as well as the Technical Consultative Committee of Mohenjo-daro. This was undertaken and accomplished. The rehabilitation of the rest house has been completed just a week earlier to this conference. Mohenjo-daro Research and Resource Center is being established on the site to provide the required information and accommodation to the researchers. We stand committed to follow the recommendations of the technical committee in order to achieve the objectives for which the National Fund for Mohenjo-daro was created. Mr. President, let me assure this August forum that we are there for supporting initiatives of the scholars and look forward to collaborative activities. With this, let me also promisingly share the initiatives that our ministry is undertaking by creating a cultural corridor from Makli to Mohenjo-daro, where culture connects you and not distances you. That is much talked through a narrative of clash of civilizations. Indus Valley, centuries back, had discarded this notion that critically needs realigning and readjusting in the today's world. Coming back to the conference, I am looking forward to extensive interaction in the near future. The NFM, National Fund for Mohenjo-daro, is desirous of holding small events so that the focused activities become possible and the desired objectives could be pursued. Let me once again thank you, and Mr. President, and also all the distinguished guests and the participants here of the conference for the kind participation. I assure you that we shall in these coming 3 days devote our best of the efforts to achieve the objectives of the conference. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, sir. I would now like to invite the Country Director of UNESCO Pakistan, Ms. Webke Jensen, to give her remarks. Ms. Jensen, please.
Honorable Chief Minister of Sindh, Mr. Murad Ali Shah, Honorable Minister of Culture, Tourism and Antiquities, Mr. Sada Ali Shah, respected Secretary of Culture, Mr. Akbar Ligari, distinguished experts, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. It's a privilege to be speaking here today, and on behalf of UNESCO, I'd like to thank the government of Sindh for organizing this very important and timely workshop. The program reflects reputed names that have worked relentlessly to preserve Mohenjo-daro, and I look forward to hearing about your work and your ideas. Once a metropolis of Indus civilization, one of the world's 3 great ancient civilizations, Mohenjo-daro is one of the most important heritage sites in Pakistan, and the responsibility of ensuring its preservation falls not only on the government, but on all of us, the local community, academia, cultural tourists, and visitors. I would like to congratulate the government of Sindh for taking initiative and organizing this important conference, which will give us an opportunity to discuss the current state of conservation and what needs to be done to further strengthen ongoing efforts and make new efforts. Though Mohenjo-daro continues to express its outstanding universal values through its planning, form and design, materials and location, the setting of the site is vulnerable to the impact of natural and human activity in its vicinity. If left unprotected, the site will disintegrate and the cultural wonder will be lost. UNESCO has had a long association with Mohenjo-daro since it was inscribed on the World Heritage List in 1980. And UNESCO's international safeguarding campaign for Mohenjo-daro, which ended in 1997, took up large-scale conservation measures which aimed at protecting the site from flooding, control of the groundwater table, implementation of national capacity building activities, and for the installation of a conservation and monitoring laboratory. After the closure of this campaign, the work was restarted again in 2004 in a post-campaign strategy, which identified further areas of intervention such as management structure, conservation and stabilization, training and capacity building, site and tourism development. To date, the majority of activities have focused on and greatly improved the overall management, conservation and stabilization of the walls and structures and reinforced capacities of site managers and workers. I'm pleased to tell you that the government of Pakistan was one of the first countries to ratify UNESCO's World Heritage Convention, which means to recognize the shared past and destiny of all humanity and underline the importance of dialogue among cultures. By ratifying the World Heritage Convention, the government of Pakistan has shown its commitment to identify, protect, and transmit the outstanding universal value of its heritage sites to the next generations. However, since some time now, efforts to protect the site have dwindled. The hosting of this conference shows a renewed interest in the protection of Mohen, and I warmly commend the government of Sindh for doing this, and I encourage similar efforts. If focused on and developed sustainably, Mohenjo-daro has the potential to be so much more than an important historical relic, mostly of interest to historians and specialists. World Heritage sites around the world have been linked to sustainable development that includes involving the community in the upkeep. And Mohenjo-daro too has the potential to economically develop its surrounding areas through the proper tools. I urge the government and the people of Sindh to upgrade the area and turn it into a vibrant, breathing public cultural site where there are historical programs, crafts-based stores, archaeological workshops, water activities, and interactive museums. All of this to be done by engaging the local community. It is especially important to engage young people, as the future of our remaining heritage will depend largely on decisions and actions of this generation, who will soon become the heritage professionals, academics, leaders, and decision makers of tomorrow. This notion is also connected to how this heritage is currently perceived by the young generation, which will eventually affect how this site is conserved in the future. Hence, the role of engaging schools and academic institutions is crucial in order to foster an appreciation and respect for the heritage site. It has been through the UNESCO Young People's World Heritage Education Project that the more young people learn about World Heritage, the more they are eager to learn and further explore ways of engaging with the heritage sites. This is done with the hope of eventually fostering social cohesion, advocacy,